Have you ever been just laying in your bed in the morning? You've just had a good night's sleep. It's time to get out of bed. And all of a sudden you have this feeling of dread just come over you because you're like, ugh, I've got to get out of bed and I have all these things to do. All I want to do is stay in my bed where it's nice and cozy and warm and not face the day ahead. Well, I had a day like that this morning, and I wanted to do some tapping and use this opportunity to show you how you could use tapping to help release that feeling of dread and maybe start making different decisions in your life that would then help you want to jump out of bed in the morning and live your inspired life. So my name is Carol Richard, and I love helping people sleep better because when we sleep, life is just beautiful. Before we do some tapping, why don't you head over to my website? The link is in the description below. Read my disclaimer and take responsibility for your own health and well-being as we're doing this tapping. And while you're on my website, why don't you grab a copy of your free guide, Journey to Better Sleep, 5 action steps to start improving the quality of your sleep. All right, so just thinking about a morning. I don't know if you've had one of those mornings that you can kind of bring back in your mind, or just for me this morning, when I think about laying in that bed and not wanting to get out of bed, the first thing that happens to my body is like, oh, right? I feel this pressure to perform, which is a limiting belief of mine that happens, that shows up all the time. I love being active and busy, but then there's always this pressure to perform that I put on myself. And so this morning, that caused a lot of dread of not wanting to get out of bed. So if I was to tune into that dread, thinking about this morning, oh, it's 7 is the number that's popping into my head. So I'm going to go with 7. So I write that down, dread out of 7. And do I feel it anywhere in my body? And the minute I said that, I could feel it in the back on my shoulder blade kind of area. All right, so let's do the first round. So even though just remembering it, having a hard time getting out of bed this morning, this feeling of dread, I feel it in my shoulders, my shoulder blades, my neck. I deeply and completely accept who I am. And even though I'm feeling this dread showing up in my shoulders, just remembering not wanting to get out of bed this morning. Did not want to get out of bed. I deeply and completely accept who I am. And even though I remember not wanting to get out of bed this morning, feeling all this dread in my shoulder blades, I deeply and completely accept who I am. All this dread in my shoulder blades. So I did not want to get out of bed this morning. All this dread in my shoulder blades. Did not want to get out of bed this morning. All this dread in my shoulder blades. And as you're tapping, listen to the voice that's showing up in your mind. I felt the dread because I had a busy week last week. So this is what's popping into my mind. Like last week, I had a busy week. I was on Zoom for 3 days, full days, assisting on the training. And that took away a lot of my time that I would have to do other stuff. So the dread that I'm feeling is because I know that I have to catch up this week. Dread's about a 5. I'm going to take a drink of water. Sometimes it happens that it's showing up physically in your body. Like all of a sudden, I just got that really bad tickle in my throat. So the dread is about a 5, showing up as that dry tickle in my throat. Part of my mind is saying it's just because you need to do some catch up this week. All right. So even though I'm still feeling this dread, I now feel it as a tickle in my throat. Yeah, because I know I have to catch up this week. I deeply and completely accept who I am. Even though I'm still feeling this dread, it's now a tickle in my throat because I have to do some catching up this week. And the thought that popped in was, but I had such a great week last week. So it's okay. I deeply and completely accept who I am. And even though feeling this dread in my throat, almost this feeling of wanting to scream, that's interesting. I deeply and completely accept who I am. So I'm going to focus my attention on feeling like I want to scream. This feeling like I want to scream. All this dread about not wanting to get out of bed this morning. This feeling like I want to scream. Feel it in my throat. This feeling like I want to scream. This dread in my throat. Oh, there it is. Feeling like I want to scream. I'm going to do another round because with that yawn means that I'm releasing that energy starting to move. This dread in my throat. I didn't want to get out of bed this morning. Yeah. All the responsibilities of this week. This dread in my throat. This dread in my throat. It no longer feels like I want to scream. And the words that popped into my mind was that scream was because I feel responsible for so many things. It's part of my work. But it's okay to do only what I can do this week. It's okay to write out my list when I'm done this video. Focus on what's more important and just get that done. It's okay not to do it all. You have to do 2 weeks work in one. It's just a belief. It's okay to just do what it's possible for me this week. I don't have to do it all. So right now, as my energy is shifting, so you notice that I started yawning, like the yawns just want to come. And that is part of releasing the energy. So if I think of the dread of this morning, laying in my bed, maybe a 1. I'm not dreading the week ahead. What I'm feeling is excitement because I have another great week this week. And now I could focus on those few little things that I want to get done. So I'm excited now. So the excitement is showing up. It's like, I'm going to go write the list of everything I need to do. And I'm going to pull 3 things out to focus and only do 3 at a time. The rest will be there for tomorrow. That feels so much better in my body. That feels so much better to know that I only need to do 3 things this week. So much better. All right. It's okay to only focus on 3 things at a time. All right, your hands on your heart. So I really needed that today, and I wanted to use that as an opportunity to show you how you can then use tapping for yourself with what is really happening in the moment for you. I was actually surprised to feel dread this morning because I don't usually feel dread getting out of bed. It was totally different. And when I was sitting in my meditation, I had the idea, what a perfect YouTube video to help others deal with the feeling of dread that shows up for them. So my intention today was to help you know how to use tapping in your everyday life and to also deal with this dread feeling of just too much to do, which is what we do to ourselves. So I'm going to go write my list. Before I click off, why don't you go to my website, get a copy of your free guide, Journey to Better Sleep, 5 action steps to improve the quality of your sleep. That also puts you on my email list. So every time I send out a new video each week, you get to actually just get it in your email box. And at the same time, why don't you click the subscribe button so that you can be notified of the new videos I post?